Dungeons and Dragons arrives! Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, it's Friday, guys. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves arrives. And have you gone out to see it? Are you going to go out and see it this weekend? Because the early previews said that it was pretty good. I saw it, and I got to tell you, I liked it. So, yeah, it's worthwhile going out to the theater this weekend to see the movies that are out. Aside from Dungeons and Dragons, there are some other headlines here that we should talk about. Murder Mystery 2 is out on Netflix. Adam Sandler. We got some DC, MCU headlines to look at. But we start off today's show by talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. And he's going to Cannes. Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon will have world premiere at Cannes. Now, I thought that we learned this a couple days ago, actually. But as you can see, here it says March 31st, so they republished the... Hey, this is Martin Scorsese's, 3-hour, $200 million project for Apple Plus. Now, Cannes is just around the corner. May 20th is when this happens, right? So Saturday, May 20th, it will premiere there. We learned earlier in the week that it has an October release for most of us. October 23, I think I heard. It's going to have a limited release on October 6th, right? Limited release October 6th. October 20th, wide release in the US. So, Killers of the Flower Moon, a period piece. It has to do with, like, oil people or something that take advantage of Native American properties and stuff like that. Or, like, lands so that they can drill or something like that. From what I understand, it's got a huge cast. But Leonardo DiCaprio will be a big draw for a lot of people there. Cool. Yeah. Take a look for that. Not much more else to say about that. What's next? Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is in the headlines. Yes, he's still kicking, guys. He's like 92 years old, right? Clint Eastwood reportedly setting up for a final film at Warner Bros. So his last movie, Cry Macho, didn't do so well. I think he should have finished off his career with The Mule. That he's like an old man. He gets caught up with his finances and he starts running drugs for a cartel. And I thought it was a really great performance by him, and it would have been a nice cap. You want to go out when you're on top. Cry Macho didn't land for a lot of people. And, okay, but he's still making films, and apparently it's going to revolve around a younger female protagonist. So after several decades, Clint Eastwood is coming. Well, not after several decades. What? 92 years old, yeah, and he's getting up there. What is it with these guys in their 90s going on? Because you got the guy from like Fox, the CEO. He's getting married again at 92 years old. There's nothing for crying out loud. I mean, hey, longevity's cool, but do you really want to be still working when you're like this old? I guess, he wants to leave his mark, and I guess I got to respect that, right, Clint Eastwood? I don't agree with his politics, but whatever. According to a new report from Discussing Film, Eastwood's next movie is billed internally the last of his career. Yeah. And I do respect his style of filmmaking. He doesn't take like 40 takes of something. He says he's very known for being on the set saying, okay, are we ready? Action. Okay, that was good. Let's get out of here. And he'll set up for the next shot. Like, he'll just take like one take and be like, what? Oh, wow. That's how quickly he moves. So I respect that for sure. So it's going to be called Juror Number 2. The movie is described as a thriller that will follow a young juror on a murder trial who realizes that he may have caused the victim's death and must grapple with this dilemma of whether to manipulate the jury to save himself or reveal the truth and turn himself in. So that's a fascinating premise. Eastwood is definitely planning to direct the film. Yeah, but there's got to be a contingency in there in case he's not able to it, because he's 92, for crying out loud. We'd have a role for Turtle, and you'd also have a role in the movie. Yeah, of course. I would expect that. It's being reported that a certain young Hollywood star is being eyed for the role. Okay, but no casting yet has been made official. You know who would be kind of cool in that? Maybe like a Joel Edgerton. You know who would be really cool? Um, Adam Driver working with Clint Eastwood. That would be cool, right? Young a juror who has moral dilemma. Um, that would be cool to see. All right, I'm guys. This is because of his age. This is a movie that's not going to take 3 years to come out. Looking at you, Batman 2 and Matt Reeves. This is going to be a movie where it's going to be shot really quickly, and I would expect probably next year this movie Juror number 2 would come out because that's the turnaround time that he has. It's not going to be heavily involved with visual effects. Yeah, Clint Eastwood, final film, Juror number 2. Sounds like an interesting premise. Who would you cast in this role? I'm just throwing out some ideas there. It said like a male protagonist, but it could be female as well. Florence Pugh would be cool. Our Glass Vikings in the live chat says, I'll be watching D&D tomorrow. Can't wait. Okay, cool. Yeah. D&D is awesome. It's a fun ride. All right, what's next? Megalopolis. Talking about directors. So we just talked about Scorsese, Clint Eastwood, good directors. And Francis Ford Coppola is definitely a really good director. He's directed Megalopolis, a passion project of his that cost him like $100 million of his own money. So, yeah, Megalopolis, about an architect that tries to rebuild New York City after like a catastrophic event. Huge cast. Aubrey Plaza, Adam Driver, talking about Adam. Ooh, now Aubrey Plaza working with Clint Eastwood. That would be kind of fun, right? Natalie Emmanuel, Giancarlo Esposito, Shia LaBeouf, Lawrence Fishburne, Talia Shire, Dustin Hoffman, Forrest Whitaker, John Voight, Jason Schwartzman. Wow, big cast. Big cast. D.B. Sweeney. So, Megalopolis has wrapped. If you go over to the actual, there's only one post on the website there, but it has wrapped principal photography. Megalopolis. Looks like they're at some kind of a parade function there. I'm sure the backgrounds will be changed out with some CG or something like that. So, Megalopolis, when the heck is this supposed to be due out? No release date just as of yet. And I haven't seen it on anybody's boards yet for 2023. So I'm expecting probably early 2024. Maybe, yeah, around this time next year, I would expect Megalopolis. Yeah, an architect wants to rebuild New York City as an utopia following a devastating disaster. Big cast, Megalopolis, wrapping production. Who do we got there? We got James Remar and Adam Driver. James Remar? Yeah, Adam Driver. Is Adam Driver the architect? That would be kind of cool. Ooh, that's, what the heck is going on there? It's Francis Ford Coppola. Cool. Yeah, it looks like Adam Driver is going to be like the main character here. Got no problem with that. As I said, as a leading guy, I think he's top talent. Even though he did just star in 65, that dinosaur movie that didn't really land with a whole bunch of people for just cause. But yeah, these are some of the set photos. Ooh, John Voight looks like he's getting up there, right? Again, there's somebody else I don't agree with his politics, but I do like him as an actor. Ooh, Shia LaBeouf. Wow, look at that get up. that looks pretty crazy there, right? Yeah. Ooh. Yes. This is for Coppola. Megalopolis, guys, has wrapped. I'll keep my eye on this project for sure. Because again, this could be like, I'm okay now on the OBS, but am I okay on my stream health here? It says stream is healthy. Looks like we're back. I'm going to have to reset up the chat again, which sucks because I don't like to do that. But I checked everything before I went live. Computer wasn't doing any updates. So looks like we're back. I got to set up the. Yeah. All right, we're back. Hey, it's a glitch. I always run updates and make sure that everything's working properly. I can't control everything all the time. But where were we? We just finished Megalopolis, right? Okay, let's get into some DC headlines today. Some DC headlines. Starting off with Lady Gaga. Harley Quinn can be heard singing in Joker 2 set video. Yeah, we saw earlier this week, we saw images of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. And, and her makeup. So I think that it's going to be fine. But I looked at this, guys, and yeah, this is just like paparazzi stuff. So I'm not going to play it here. This is one of those videos where you kind of go like, you turn on your headphones here and you got to like really crank up the volume to hear it. And it's just, she's singing something, if it's even her. Like, it's like you don't. She's in a tent here or something. She's either warming up or something. So I don't take it as concrete kind of confirmation as to one of the songs. We know that Joker Folie à Deux is going to be somewhat of a musical. There will be musical numbers in it. Of course, Lady Gaga is one of the best vocalists out there right now. Her voice is just, you listen to her sing and it's just like, huh, yeah. She's awesome. So. If you want to go listen to that clip, go to Joker Folly News. You can hear that 11-second clip. I'm not going to play it here just for copyright reasons. And as I said, it's very barely audible. I'm sure somebody's probably boosted it. Lady Gaga singing. I'd rather prefer to wait for it for when it actually comes out. More DC headlines. James Gunn responds to Logan Lerman DC Universe Superman casting rumor. Okay, so yeah, everybody's been out there fan casting for the new DC movie that is going to have Superman. What is it called? Superman Legacy, and it's everybody's kind of like, who's going to be the new Superman, because it's been obviously clear that they're never ever going to. Well, I'm not going to say never ever. Cavill could still come back in like a multiverse type of way, right? In a Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of way. But they want to reboot the Superman character. So they're like, well, who's it going to be? It's going to be a younger Superman, they said, in his 20s. They want it in the 20s, but in every other pundit that I see out there fan casting for Superman says, gives answers like in their 30s. And it's like, ooh, Glenn Powell, but he's like 35, guys. It's like, for crying out loud, you don't understand the homework, do you? You don't understand. And actually, to tell you the truth, isn't Logan Lerman getting up there in age? He's getting up there, right? I got nothing against Logan Lerman. He's 31. He's 31. You see, that's automatically too old, because it's slated for 2025, which means he'll be 33 when it comes out. It's still lots of time for him to play Superman, but I would rather him to play Flash. I would rather him play Flash, because they are going to recast Flash. They have to, right? Gods Amongst Monsters. So, Gunn responded saying, "It's not true. Haven't had a single talk with a single actor about the role, just making private lists, prepping material for auditions." So, yeah, I'm sure he's got an idea in his head, and some people will go out there and tell you the headline that he already knows, it's already been cast. There'll be people that'll try to sell you that BS. I'm looking at you out there. I know who you are. You watch the show too. I know you do. Anyway, James Gunn says that he's just making lists, and you know what? All directors do that. We just had a story with Quentin Tarantino saying that he's got these lists in his heads of actors that he would like to work with. His lists are longer because he's got like a catalog of movies in work in his head that he knows that certain actors are good. Anyway, Logan Lerman, I got nothing against it. Some people out there, like this person here, I'm not going to say her name, that like, I'm sure she's got sources on the inside, but I'm also sure that she also does a lot of that fishing, where she'll post something that's sort of rumorish, but she wants to see if it sticks, and so she can have the credit of saying, "I said it first here." It's like, get out of here with that nonsense. Who cares if you said it first? I don't give up. caught up in that BS, that tripe. Anyway, I believe James Gunn when he says that they haven't cast it yet. I do. I'm sure that they've got a good idea as to who they want. I'm sure they probably even reached out to the preliminary casting agents to talk to them. I'm sure they've gotten to that idea. But I sort of believe in that it hasn't been concrete. But Logan Lerman, interesting. I still say that's a bit too old if they want to go. I know that they could play younger. I know that they could play that. Pfeiffer says Logan Lerman is no way Jose. Hourglass says Logan Lerman is 31. Chris Schober says, who's the next Bond? We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Pfeiffer also says, I want Michael B. Jordan for next Superman. After watching Creed 3, Michael B. Jordan would play an awesome Superman. He totally would. And if they did get that other story off the ground, I don't know if it's, what is it, J.J. Abrams wants to make it, but he wants to make him Clark Kent. I don't know why they wouldn't use the Val Zod storyline. I don't know why they just poo-poo all over the fans by saying, we're not going to use it in an established storyline. Anyway, yes, Michael B. Jordan would be an awesome Superman. I do believe in that. Maybe on a Crisis on Infinite Earths or something. Hourglass says, don't a lot of American roles have actors older than the part they play, usually 5-10 years old? Yeah, usually. But if you're going to use that argument, then why couldn't you still have Henry Cavill as Superman? Why couldn't you do that? It just throws up those things, right? Yeah. So, what's next? Is that it for DC? No, we still got more. The Flash. Zod update supports the biggest villain theory. I guess somebody was asking Michael Shannon how big of a role Zod's going to have in the Flash movie. And he's come out and says, you don't spend as much time with him, so you don't really get to know as much about what he's thinking. It's not necessarily his movie. So it almost sounds like he's only going to be like in a handful of scenes. He's going to be in like 2 or 3 scenes. And it just confirms that, yeah, it's evil Flash. We've seen that the trailers show 2 Flashes. Actually, I think the trailer shows us that there is 3 Flashes. That person in the jail cell that's all like shriveled up, I believe that's the evil Flash. And he's kind of like the villain. He's the primary villain for the Flash movie. And this will be kind of like a side mission, a diversion away from it. That I don't know if he'll team up with the evil Flash or not. But that's what I'm thinking from that headline. But Michael Shannon back as Zod in just a little bit. I'll be happy with that because he was awesome as Zod. I just didn't think Snyder used the character as well as he could have. And I know that'll make a lot of Snyder fans out there angry, but it is what it is. You'll never know until you actually see it, that you'll appreciate, oh, it's cool that Michael Shannon got to come back and be Zod and kind of maybe close off some loose end feelings that we had as fans. Because Star Trek Picard just did this for season 3, last episode, where Geordi LaForge talks to Data, telling him how he felt after Data died. Like they kind of like reboot him a little bit, right? Data's a robot, but it was like a great scene that these 2 actors got to be on screen talking about some of the fallout that we didn't get to see as fans, but they paid us off, right? They paid fans of it off, and I hope that fans of Zod, just like that, will have that appreciation that, oh, we get to see Michael Shannon back as Zod. Cool. That's what I want when we sit down to watch the Flash movie that's due out this June, right? But it won't be a big role. Flash. Yeah, June 16th. So, yeah, there's the 2 Flashes. Is that it for DC headlines? That's it for DC headlines. Switch over to the MCU. Captain America 4 headlines all week, guys. Captain America 4 rumored to include Marvel villain team Serpent Society. Now, I didn't remember it exactly, but I guess the Serpent Society was teased in Captain America Civil War. So I guess the insider Jeff Snyder shared this on a podcast, saying that Harrison Ford's Thunderbolt Ross transformation into Red Hulk, that it will have Red Hulk. So Thunderbolt Ross will transform into the Red Hulk. That'll be interesting. Julia Louis-Dreyfus Val will be secretly backing the Serpent Society to recover a metal just as powerful as vibranium. You can check out the rumors below in a 30-minute interview. So yeah, the hot mic, is that Roca? John Roca? Yeah, he's good too. So Snyder was on there talking about this. He's heard that the metal in question will be connected to the X-Men franchise. So it's going to be what? Well, because the vibranium was always supposed to be adamantium, right? But at the time when they started making the MCU, adamantium was still associated with X-Men, and due to rights issues, they couldn't use it, so they created vibranium, the equivalent. But you know what? There's an easy workaround for that when that comes up. They'll just say, well, vibranium is also known as adamantium. That's all they'll do, and that'll fix that. And I think most fans should accept that. But Serpent Society, I know nothing about. So it's rumored that Julia Louis-Dreyfus, well, isn't the Serpent Society, like, she's going to be connected to the Thunderbolts as well, right? So she's like kind of like their version of like that DC character, Viola Davis's character, right? That brings all the villains together, like all the Suicide Squad. She's kind of like the MCU version of that. Yeah. All right. So talking about Thunderbolt Ross, first look at Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross in Captain America New World Order. So this will be for New World Order. He's also going to show up in the Thunderbolts movie, obviously. But guys, it's just sad photos. He's wearing a tie, and there's Tim Blake Nelson. He's going to be back as the leader, right? Wearing green paint on his hands. Okay, well, not there. And so he's going to turn into the Red Hulk. They're just set photos. Nothing too outrageous that I would say, oh my God, guys, you have to see this photo. It's like, I guess the only thing different here is that he doesn't have the tash. Doesn't have the mustache. So he's going to change up the look. I'm guessing just to say that there's going to be a difference there. Continuing on with MCU headlines, Deadpool 3, we talked about earlier this week as well. Fan favorite, Dopinder, the taxi driver, confirmed. He'll be returning. And yeah, Deadpool's always had a fun relationship with him, right? So that'll be kind of fun just to have them back, just to have a little bit of consistency. Dopinder. We just learned that Matthew McFadden has joined it, right, this week. Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine. Deadpool 3 is going to be, it's climbing up there to be one of my most anticipated movies of next year for sure. For sure. Arglass says apparently Tim Blake Nelson won't have a big head, but will have partly green arms as a mutation. Okay. Fascinating. Well, at least we're getting movement on these stories, right? We're driving towards the end product, and that's good news. Okay, guys, let's get into the main headline. Actually, let's take a break here. There are all my social media handles. You can find all the shorts and stuff there, that some behind the scenes stories and stuff on the Instagram, TikToks, Facebook. I still got to get sorted out. It's Mirror Domains Official 4 for Facebook, guys. But Facebook is a huge mess. Huge mess. Yeah. Pfeiffer says Brianna Hildebrand must come back as Teenage Ward. I hope so. She was small character, but cool. And yeah, she'll come back, hopefully. Blue Beetle trailer due out Monday, according to insider sources. Okay, well, if the Blue Beetle trailer drops, as I said, at least that's part of the older phase of the DC projects. I think that's all. Oh, yeah, we got a Secret Invasion story. One more MCU story headline. Secret Invasion is described as Cold War espionage thriller. Nick Fury as he uncovers conspiracy. Yeah, we've seen that a little bit in the teaser for it, right? It's about like these changelings, or they can like the scrolls, right? They can change their image. Um, got some first look images of Samuel L. Jackson there. And there's Michael Easy. There's Emilia Clarke. This is why I'll be watching the show, guys. I'll be watching it for her. I know that Samuel L. Jackson is cool, but I still like Emilia Clarke, and she's survived a lot too. She's had a lot of health scares with herself, but yeah, Colby Summers, right? Is that her name? She'll be back in this. Um, Interesting cast for this Secret Invasion. As far as the MCU and their TV projects, they definitely need to slow it down, because it's just too much. And somebody described it the other day. I saw that the MCU has become like homework, to keep up with it all. You don't want to watch some of these shows and spin-offs, but you have to, because you want to keep up with the MCU, and it just becomes like homework. You don't want to, but you have to. And it's like, it shouldn't be like that. And that's the stigma that they're getting with all of these projects. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to be watching certain things. I'm probably never going to watch, what was it? Not Captain Marvel, the Marvels or whatever, or whatever that was. Miss Marvel. Yeah, I know I'm not the demographic for it, so it's kind of like I got too much on my plate as it is. Anyway, I'm kind of digressing here, guys. It's Friday. I normally watch a movie on Friday, so later on today at 1 p.m., in just an hour and a half, we'll be watching Murder Mystery 2 with Adam Sandler. Come join us for that. It's on Netflix. Started today, so it's supposed to be funny. And we need a good laugh these days, right? We watched Phantom Menace. That's up on the channel. Coming next week, we'll be watching Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. We just watched Mandalorian Episode 5 this week. We watched Survivor Episode 5 this week. There's a Grumpy Man Reacts to Tangled. That's still up on the channel. Go check that out. Yeah, oddly enough, I had fun with that. We watch horror movies on the weekend. Well, normally today's one our horror movie, but we're just coming back. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, we watched The Ritual. Next week, we'll watch The Menu. On Saturdays, we do a horror weekly roundup show talking about all the horror movie news headlines and stuff like that. And then on Sundays, I post our weekly schedule, which will be posted up this Sunday, because we'll be coming back. I had a head cold that just lingered on for a bit longer than I wanted to. But I feel finally back to 100%. Yeah, there you go. So there we go. We'll be back. And join us with Murder Mystery 2 coming up in an hour and a half. I'm looking forward to it. Some comedy, some levity in the air. That's what we need. And talking about comedy, some fun times. Dungeons and Dragons opens up, and yeah, box office preview. Dungeons and Dragons movie will take on John Wick 4, and it's going to be a test, because John Wick 4 opened up huge, right? 70 million. So chop that about in half. So John Wick is probably going to make about another $35 million this weekend. Can Dungeons and Dragons open bigger than that? Can it open bigger than 35 million? I hope so, because it was a lot of fun. And you'll know when you go see the movie that you'd be kind of like, it's not supposed to be like over serious. Chris Pine helps that a lot, because he brings a charm to it. He's our main character, and he is like trying to drive the team towards a goal, and it's like you're on board with it. You're on board with him. And Michelle Rodriguez there also is great in supporting roles, in that supporting role there as the barbarian. Very interesting. And Hugh Grant plays the villain, sort of. It's not that hard to explain, but when you watch it, he plays kind of like that sleazy guy that you love to hate. He's been out doing the rounds on the late night circuit promoting the movie, and he says that he would like to erase some movies from his career. I'm sure that all actors have that. It's kind of like, ooh, that movie I turned out was a stinker. I pulled it to see what the movie was. It was something that I never saw. Um, a movie back in the 90s or early 90s, something called The Lady and the Highwaymen, a British TV movie that aired in 1989. So when the first Batman movie came out, I never heard of it, but that's something that he'd like to, what is that, expunge from his record, have expunged or get rid of. Was it like a romantic, cheesy romantic movie or something like that? He was pigeonholed in those rom-coms when he was younger, so yeah, he's outdoing the career, outdoing his promotional tour for that. So Dungeons and Dragons, as I said, guys, it's a lot of fun. Go out and see it this weekend. 89% by the critics, 92% by the audience. And yeah, let's see what people are saying about it. Movie News says Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is an ebullient mix of fantasy, action, and comedy with a terrific cast, thrilling stunts, and genuinely fantastic special effects. Times UK says, best of all, there's genuine heart here, as well as glimpses of depth. And yeah, I'll agree with that. There are glimpses of heart that a lot of it has to do with Chris Pine being able to just to take it to that level, right? He just has that extra gear in him as an actor. That, yeah, some of the things that he's doing are silly, but he does it with enough swagger that you're like, yeah, I'm on board. A Weaver says, I look forward to Sophia Lillis, my fellow Ginger. She's got a great career. Oh, yeah, she does. She's right there. And she's a standout in the film for me. There's Hugh Grant. Yeah, Sophia Lillis. She holds her own with these people. And I really hope she does more, too. There's our villain. Sophina is her name. Daisy Head. Yeah. I've already said what I think about her. I think she's awesome. And yeah, Regé-Jean Page comes in and out of the film as a supporting character. He's not part of the main group. It's these four are the main group, and those four have good chemistry. Visual effects wise, it's good. Sophia Lillis, yeah. Good movie, man. This is a movie that I would say rarely that, yeah, this is a movie that I would go out and see in the theater again. I usually don't say that these days. You know why? Because I just don't have the time to go out and see a movie 3 times in the theater. Because there are other things in the theater that I want to go see. So it doesn't make sense for me anymore to say, well, hey, you know what? I really like the Dungeons and Dragons movie so much that I'm going to go out and see it tomorrow with my friends. I'm going to go see it tomorrow night again by myself just for pleasure. No, if I go see it once, but then, yeah, there's other movies in the theater that I want to see as well. So those will prioritize before I see it again. Anyway, that's just the way that I look at it. Dungeons and Dragons is a lot of fun, and I hope it resonates at the theater for a bunch of people. As I said, it's going to have a tough battle up against John Wick this weekend, because John Wick Chapter 4, it's probably going to be my favorite movie of March. 73 it had last weekend, right? So if that drops like 60%, it's going to be like 30 to 35 million in there. Yeah. I hope Dungeons and Dragons can. I would love if it opened up with 40 million. That would be enough for the first spot. So I can't champion it enough. It's totally worthwhile going out to see, guys. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. Have fun with it. Have your bag of popcorn. Laugh at the jokes. People in the theater will be laughing at the same time as you. It's a lot of fun. Chris Schober says, I'm getting Chucky TV Season 2 DVD at Walmart today. Okay, cool, man. I hear good things about Season 2. I don't have it here because Chucky is on a streaming service that we don't. Was it Sci-Fi? We don't have that here in Canada. A Weaver says that's Chris. Chuck is another fellow Ginger. Okay, Chuck. Oh, Chucky. Yeah, he is a redhead. All right, talking about Murder Mystery 2 is our It's coming out on, well, it's out on Netflix now, right? Murder Mystery 2. Early reviews are coming in. Oh, that's not good. Netflix sequel that leaves no room for laughs. I was late to the party for the first murder mystery because Adam Sandler had a whole bunch of comedies come out on Netflix that were just kind of like, meh, that's not all that funny. But so I just stopped watching them. But when I actually sat down and watched Murder Mystery 1, I had fun with it. You know, I thought it was rather charming. And Jennifer Aniston and him do have good chemistry. They've been in a couple, more than just Murder Mystery together, right? They've been in other films together. They do have good chemistry. So I'm holding out hope that Murder Mystery 2 is going to be good. That's not good. 53% by the critics, so it's only 15 reviews. 69 by the audience. It just came out. It's going to be trending, so hopefully it lands. Come join us in an hour and 20 minutes, and we'll be watching this movie together and hopefully laughing. That's what I want to do this afternoon. I want to share some laughs with you guys, and we'll be exploring what Murder Mystery 2 has to offer. Some kind of shenanigans, some hope, and just a nice lighthearted film. That's all I'm expecting, and hopefully it can stick that landing. And I'm not deterred from these early reviews that say, let's take a good one from Variety that says, the murder mystery films aren't great mysteries, but they don't have to be. They're good enough. Okay, well, yeah, I don't expect it to be a mystery. I just expect like them trying to unravel a whodunit in a fun way, right? If you squint, especially hard, and hold your breath till you pass out, the sequel almost resembles an attempt by Sandler to recreate Glass Onion. What? Says the Globe and Mail. What? Leans heavily on strained gags and physical slapstick that mostly don't land unless you're such things, and finds such things as business cards equipped with dental floss. What? Okay, so that's getting into territory I don't want to get spoiled here. Yeah. So it's mixed. Saying that the reception to Murder Mystery 2 is mixed is probably putting it a little bit lightly, but I'll still sit down and watch it here because I want to check it out. And then tomorrow, guys, I'll publish my March movies ranked. We've watched 8 movies this month. A lot of good ones. We got like Creed 3 in there, Dungeons and Dragons, John Wick Chapter 4, Scream 6 is in there. Oh, it's good. It's been a good month. It has. And we're at the end here. So it's been a good month, and hopefully Murder Mystery 2 will rank in there as one of the good ones. Hopefully. You never know. All right, guys. This is a subject that I don't usually like to talk about, but we got some other things to talk about here. People behaving badly. Now, there's a big thing that happened yesterday in the, well, beyond pop culture, in the normal realm of, well, I hate to say political fare, but yeah. Well, let's just get into it. Let's start off with that big story this week about the MCU and Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors' lawyer releases text messages he claims show that the women takes blame for the fight. The problem is that these text messages that have come out show that proves that there was a fight, that she did get beat. So I don't like, this is just, again, this is kind of like some evidence that we don't know if we should take to heart, because we don't know if this is being submitted officially as evidence. Mr. Majors completely denies assaulting the woman. But if you go out and read these text messages, it does not paint it. While she tries, they say that it's evidence that says that he's innocent. But when you read the text lines, that could be doctored. It could be. It proves that there was a fight. There was an altercation. It proves that. And it's kind of like, well, how could you say that he's innocent? Even if he's provoked, even if they're like getting in your face, slapping you around, spitting in you, trying to like hurt you. You just got to push away and you got to walk away. You got to get away. You can't respond in kind. You can't. And um, um, unless it's like a threat for your life, right? Like it's a hard situation. And you're right, A Weaver. There, it's a sad story because he's just had his launching point here with the MCU with Kang, right? And as an actor, getting recognition from like Creed 3 and Devotion last year, he is a good actor, and I don't want to weigh in with where I stand with it yet, or like if I'm on his side or not. Like I don't want to do that. So it's kind of like it doesn't look good. And if he's so innocent, then just release the video evidence that you sort of have. Release the evidence so that at least in the public eye, we're going to be like, okay, this will just blow over. But by these text messages, it almost sounds like it does him no favors. Um, yeah, it's typical for a victim to retract their charge. Yeah, the victims in this, and they're like, oh, I really love you, but I'm going to go back to you, even though that you're somebody who does that to me. It's like I never understand that um, syndrome. What do they call that? Yeah, it's just enough said about it as because you don't even want to say I hope it turns out. I just hope that he gets this. Here's what I would say. I hope that Jonathan Majors gets his life sorted out. We'll deal with his involvement with the MCU once the chips fall where they do, right? Um, yeah, Stockholm syndrome. There, Bifer says, yeah, thanks. I would never hit girls. Yeah, yeah. Even when they're doing the worst kind of things to you, making fun of you, belittling you, trying to get a rise out of you. You just gotta say this is not working. You and I can't work together, and then yeah, you get stuck into that kind of syndrome where it's kind of like, but I love you, so I'm gonna stick with you. You gotta call for help. Then you gotta call in help. That's what I would say, and you gotta look at the bitter facts. Sometimes it just doesn't work out between two people, even after many years of marriage too. It doesn't work out. Continuing on with people behaving badly. This is the big headline that I don't really. It's being splashed all over Variety, Hollywood Reporter. So we'll briefly talk about it because it doesn't really have much to do with movie and entertainment news. Donald Trump was indicted yesterday, and it was kind of hard not to follow what's been going on. Everybody says that it's over him having an affair. And that's not what this is about. That's the way that people will want to spin it. It's about him falsifying business records. That's what it's about. That's the way I understand it. And I follow it quite closely. How does this relate to entertainment news? Let's try to put it out there. As I said, all the big trades, Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, it's all splashed all over their pages. So how does it react to us as entertainment fans? The late night hosts are using it as fodder. They're using it as fuel for comedy. And I guess that's the way that it's going to be looked at. Revel in Donald Trump's indictment. Wait until he finds out he had the right to be silent. Yeah. So the late night people they're going to have fun with it. And it's going to be a topic that's because it's going to have a big cultural impact in the States, politically and socially. It's going to impact us in the entertainment realm as well. It's going to only, I think, majorly impact us in this aspect. And then, of course, somewhere along the lines, there's going to be a lucrative movie deal where, yeah, there's going to be a Donald Trump movie. And it's going to be about him like playing the system, right? So, and who knows where it's going to end, if it's going to end up with him in jail. And I don't mean the movie, like this case. I mean like the movie, because this isn't the only case that he's being investigated for. Now, I don't have any stakes in U.S. politics. I don't live in the United States. I'm not a right-wing supporter. I'm not a left-wing supporter. I don't look at politics like that. Because here in Canada, while I may disagree with the opposing political faction, I don't associate who I am. I don't say I'm a liberal. It's like, no, I'm a PC. No, we don't look at it like that. We just don't. Um, hey, I don't like your policies, so I'm not going to vote for you. That's all. That's the only way that we look at it. But in the States, it's kind of like, it, from the outside looking in, it looks like that's like part of their religion. It's like it's who you're affiliated with politically. Is, oh, we're a family of Republicans, so if you're in this house, you vote Republican, and if you vote Democrat, you're out. It's like, no, that's not how. No, you don't want that. But anyway, I'm digressing. People behaving badly. It's going to be hard to get away from that one, so we'll go around it delicately. So, I think this is the last headline for people behaving badly. Yes, it is. This one bummed me out a lot. This one sucks. If you've ever dealt with someone with substance abuse issues, this bums you out too. Bam Margera arrested for public intoxication, marking second arrest this month. And Bam Margera was one of the originals on the Jackass crew. He had just spent like a year in rehab. He had come out on Steve-O's podcast saying that he was getting in the right headspace and stuff like that. But the thing is that if you know anything about addictions, and you know him, his is alcohol. He's fighting the bottle, and relapses happen for people who have not yet made the commitment to themselves to say that I'm done with it. Like, that's something with alcohol that if you are under its mercy, if it's got its grip on you, you get into a space where you realize that your life, you can't control it. It has, like, alcoholism has you, right? And he's fighting the bottle, and everything looked like it was going well for him. So when this news came across, this bummed me out because it looks like he hasn't solved it yet, right? After allegedly making a scene in a restaurant with his estranged wife and child. Now, yeah, see, and that too. That's one of the fallouts of this disease, is that you make a scene, and you make a scene with the people that you love, right? You hurt the people that you love, and it bums me out because I listened to the podcast when he was talking with Steve-O, and it sounded like he was getting back control of his faculty, and it looks like he's still got some more battles to fight. Steve-O has come out and said he retracted his statement, which kind of bums me out. Steve-O had come out and said that he also was let down that Bam had relapsed, and he's fighting it, and my hope is that he beats it before it takes him. Basically, alcoholism it's a road to death, and because your body just can't handle it. The repeated abuse, it just can't handle it. And I hope that he hears that voice in his head that'll just surrender. You got to surrender. You can't responsibly make the decision that you can't drink alcohol. You can't do it. Anyway, I'm preaching, and second arrest, that just bums me out again. With your estranged wife and child, it doesn't look good. It bums me out. Guard Glass says, Robert could play Trump. Not that what he would want to. No. Chris Schober says, "Did you hear that news about Trump getting arrested yesterday?" Yeah. That news about Trump kind of like co-opted my enjoyment of the baseball game, because it happened middle of my baseball game, and it was kind of like all the channels just were like beep, 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 beep. I was like, holy crap. Yeah. Anyway, Art Glass says Bam was reaching out to see his kids, sad that his Dutch courage and coping strategy was all consuming. Yeah. Again, if you didn't know, if you don't know people who fight that kind of stuff, then it's hard to relate to. But enough of about that. Let's try to lighten the moods again here with some hit or miss headlines. So if it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll move on. Netflix's Extraction 2 billboard stunt backfires online. Yeah, Extraction 2 comes out this year, and it's going to be a Netflix movie. And they put out a billboard with Morse code on it as a promotional tool. And I was like, guys, how many people out there know about Morse code enough? So people, I guess some people do, and they decoded it, and it decodes in a way that not the way that they were intending. So some people said renew a Shadow and Bone for another season and spin-off. So they were just having fun with it, right? Heartstopper season 2 streaming now. They're just converting it into messages that they didn't want it to say. Because when you put up just dots and lines, like the representation of what the message is supposed to be, then people could just transform it into anything that they want. I liked the first Extraction. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything. But yeah, so the message translates to Tyler Rake lives. Tyler Rake lives, which is his character name, because he fell off a bridge in the end of the first one, didn't he? Yeah. Good action, though. And I like the way it's photographed. So we'll be watching out. We'll do a full live watch along, maybe. It says rated R for strong and bloody violence. Okay, that's no problem. As long as he's not like walking around in the buff, like he was in Thor: Love and Thunder. Although I'm sure lots of fans out there would appreciate that. Extraction 2 just doesn't call for that, right? So bigger, badder, more deadly, and more dangerous. Extraction 2. When is this supposed to come out? In June. All right. So Extraction 2 comes out in June. Action. Hemsworth. Why not? We'll take a look for that. A Weaver says Gwyneth. Yeah, well, she wasn't really behaving too badly. No, well, maybe if that pops up in the headlines here, we'll talk about it. 4 reasons Questlove makes Aristocats #1 of Disney's most exciting movies. What? Yeah, we talked about this early in the week that Questlove was doing a live-action Aristocats movie. So I pulled this article, seeing what their reasons were. Summer of Soul proves how Questlove can influence Aristocats for the better. Was that another musical kind of documentary that he did or something? Okay. Questlove's music and comedy connections could result in a great Aristocats supporting cast. Okay, well, have to check that out maybe. I don't know. Is that a ample enough reason? Yeah. Aristocats classical and jazz focus is a perfect for Questlove. Well, he is a musician, right, at heart. Aristocats doesn't have a big legacy like other Disney movies. So you're saying because it didn't have a big following, like people said that they liked Aristocats, but yeah, I guess it's not as well known. And you're saying because of that, that's why it's going to be good for a live action? It's going to be cats with like the CGI faces. Maybe. We don't know. Next. What's next? Florence Pugh says she most definitely abused herself for the Midsummer role. Yeah, she was just on that hot ones, right? She just ate the hot chicken wings with that guy yesterday. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, she definitely went to that other place for Midsummer. Um, when you watch it, like she was the best part of Midsummer. Watching her kind of like disintegrate in front of you. I don't have a whole lot of other good things to say about Midsummer. I like Ari Aster, but I watched it twice, and Midsummer just wasn't for me. It's not something that I look at and say, "Oh yeah, that's a masterpiece." The Verdict, dude, big news, big news. What? Don't diss my nephew's favorite movie. Um, I wasn't. You talk about the Aristocats? No. I'll hold out hope for Aristocats and hope it's good. Byford the Hobbit says the background logo for Florence Pugh horns form behind her head. What? Horns? Well, a little bit. Um, I do like her as an actress, though. Um, so yeah, I'll maybe over the weekend I'll watch that Hot Ones episode with her, see what's going on. All right, I got to wrap things up here quickly. Taron Egerton explains why he hates his Tetris movie mustache. Oh yes, Tetris is out now on Apple TV Plus, right? Is that what it's? And he's got like a CGI mustache, or no, it's a glue-on mustache apparently. Yeah, I guess I don't know why they didn't allow him to grow one, but yeah. Um, so it's Apple TV Plus now, yeah. So I'm not going to have access to it. Um, if I get a copy of it, maybe I'll watch it. But yeah, he says, I am comparing wearing a fake mustache to childbirth. Don't at me. So he didn't like it. I guess it was very uncomfortable. So now, if you are going to have plans to watch the Tetris movie, um, every time you look at him, how are you not going to be like, looking at it to see if you could see like the glue line on the top of him wearing a fake mustache. I found that one kind of funny. Um, yeah. Michelle Rodriguez, who you can see in the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, talks about her future in the Avatar franchise. Yeah, apparently James Cameron was toying around with the idea of bringing her back, but she said no. She went to Cameron and said, no, please don't. Because she had, well, if you haven't seen the first Avatar movie, spoiler alert, like, 13 years ago now, yeah, she sacrifices herself, right? So in an interview with Vanity Fair, she said, dude, I saw James Cameron recently, and he was like, I was thinking, what if Michelle came back? A lot of other characters came back in Way of Water. I was like, she said to him, I was like, you can't do that. I died as a martyr. I came back in Resident Evil. I wasn't supposed to. I came back in Machete. I wasn't supposed to. I came back as Letty in Fast and Furious. I wasn't supposed to. We can't do a fourth time. That would be overkill. I don't understand. It's so weird. I guess they don't know what to do with the girl who doesn't have a boyfriend. She doesn't have a boyfriend. What? Should we keep her alive or kill her? I like Michelle Rodriguez. Um, yeah, I think she's done as this character in Avatar. You don't need to keep on bringing her back. No. All right, that's it for hit or miss. Okay, we're running a little bit over overtime here. You want to hear the new Bond story, guys? It's not really a new Bond movie kind of story, but new James Bond story on His Majesty's Secret Service. On His Majesty's Secret Service, commissioned to celebrate King Charles' coronation. Coronation Starscream? This is bad comedy. Anyway, new James Bond story, not movie, guys. Story. But if it's a story, then it could be adapted. So this could be like the precursor to the material that's going to be converted for the new Bond movie. Because we heard that Barbara Broccoli, who owns the rights to the James Bond movies, was thinking that they're going to have to go with a younger Bond for the upcoming reboot after the Daniel Craig movies. So on His Majesty's Secret Service brings Bond into a present day. It's May 4th, 2 days before the coronation. Bond is sent, I don't know, at the last minute to thwart an attempt to disrupt the coronation by the wealthy, eccentric, and self-styled Athelstan of Wessex. Athelstan? Sorry, I'm butchering that, aren't I? Who is on a deadly mission to teach the United Kingdom a lesson. Bond must dismantle his shady plans and defeat his privately hired mercenaries. On His Majesty's Secret Service will be published May 4th. May 4th. So it's a story. Commissioned author Charlie Higson to write a new adventure. So it sounds like a short story. But yeah, it's a material that they could adapt into like a full-length movie. Who knows if that'll work? But hey, commissioned by the Ian Fleming Publications. So there you go. When I came to me with the idea of writing an adult Bond story with a little bit more than a month ago, I was thrilled until I realized I had to be ready for coronation in May. So he's only, oh God, that's not good. Getting it written, turned around in such a short space of time was going to be as tense and heart-pounding as any Bond mission, although of course nobody would actually be shooting at me. Yeah, so that sucks. Like look at that turnaround time. Like a month to turn out a story. That's hard to do if it's going to be published in novel form. I don't know, but I've been thinking about writing an adult Bond adventure ever since working with Young Bond books. So he's written before for this, so I'm sure he's got ideas out there that could be utilized to have this story come together for On His Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah. New Bond. Aaron Taylor Johnson is in a shoe-in for a new Bond. Well, yeah, there were talks about Aaron Taylor Johnson, but Barbara Broccoli has come out and said that they haven't, just like the Superman situation, where they don't even have a script or a story or anything like that. But all I wanted to do was point out that if they got a story for a new Bond story, that's paving the way for material to be adapted into movies for sure. A. Weaver says, I don't understand what this means. Seriously, Aaron Taylor Johnson? Yeah, that's kind of like what people's fan castings were going to be for it. So, yeah. I'm running overtime, guys. And I got to eat and get ready to watch Murder Mystery 2 with you guys in just about 55 minutes. So, might as well just go over, just take a look at what's going on in the old Twitterverse, see if I missed anything. We'll do this at a quick glance here. Lily Reinhardt? Do we know Lily Reinhardt? Who the heck is Lily Reinhardt? Why is that name not landing with me? Covers Grazia. 1001 playing in theaters. 1001. Oh yeah, that's I remember the trailers from that one. Kristen Stewart. Boy Genius. Tetris movie, yeah. New original song, Hold On Tight. Okay. Yeah. Fake mustache, guys. Remember, it's fake. Whatever. Raylene. Olivia Colman. Secret Invasion. Oh, yeah, all those Secret Invasion photos that we already seen the Secret Invasion photos. Killers of the Flower Moon at Con. Okay, so that's where we'll end out today, guys. If I missed something, my bad. We'll pick it up on Monday's movie news. And if a big trailer drops, do trailer reaction to that. Guys, go out and see Dungeons and Dragons this weekend if you get a chance. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. All right, that's it for me. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.